Tweeting, retweeting, tweeting, and retweeting.
Tweet. AK, we are live. Actually, we've been live for a while now.
Duval. Actually, I should wait for more people to show up. Should wait for more people to join us. This is the UFC Jacksonville pre-fight Q&A. Let's let this populate a little bit before we go full Duval on everyone.
Duval.
Thank you for everyone who is tuned in already. I know I see some people waiting. We are, less than 30 minutes away from an early Saturday card, 11:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Pacific Time, where my esteemed colleague is. This is the voice of Alexander K. Lee, joined by producer extraordinaire EKC Leydon. So once again, thank you everyone for. There he is. There he is. He's a judge. He's a judge.
Yeah.
He's an MMA, you're an MMA judge. Well, people got a lot of questions for you, buddy. Let me tell you something.
No, I don't answer questions.
All right, we have.
I let the scorecards do my talk.
We have 7 prelims coming up. 5-fight main card. No, wait, that's not right. 8 has to be 8 prelims. Help me here, America. Help me. No, I believe it's 8 prelims. Yeah, because there's 13 fights.
I only got one question.
So originally I had. Please.
And those prelims, are any of those fighters best friends?
Listen, we're going to talk about. Okay, right. No, I'll break that right. Listen, we're here to talk about UFC Jacksonville. But for anyone who didn't see, please check out MMAfighting.com. PFL just announced Nathan Schulte and Harsh Manfio have been suspended because they were best friends that were forced to fight each other. And surprise, surprise, they did not want to fight each other and put on what was called a below PFL standards fight. They've been suspended. Again, we're here to talk about UFC Jacksonville.
I didn't know we could do that. Just like that fight sucks, so it didn't happen. Delete.
The league can do what it wants. So
guys,
check that out.
Delete.
MMAfighting.com. We've got messages out, of course, to all the fighters involved, and we're going to keep you updated because that is quite a story coming out of PFL 6. We said one of the things we said on earlier this week was, can PFL do anything to match the headlines of PFL 5 with John Jones and Francis? This isn't going to reach that level even close, but
I don't know, man.
That's for damn sure.
I like it. I like where they're going. I
listen. Let's talk about UFC Jacksonville. Okay, guys, send in your questions, please. In case people don't know, I will leave a little note there. Send in questions again. They're probably going to start pretty early. It's 8 prelims, 5 main card fights, so they can't really futz around too much with the prelim time. I don't think so, anyway. But you never know with the UFC. Here we go. What do we got? Anything early?
Here we go.
What do we got? From our pal, Tristan Gordet, what's up? At MMA Fighting, you think Maycee Barber is a future UFC flyweight champion? I don't see it. Her previous fights have been underwhelming. Being honest, I don't see it either, but I do think she's getting better. I do think she can be a contender. I could see her getting a title shot at some point. I think the improvements she's made are real, even though I get it. Not all her fights are the most exciting or convincing. But I actually really like what I've seen from her. Casey, what are your thoughts on 25-year-old now, Maycee Barber?
First of all, I think it's a bit unfair expectations we put on her. Like for every fighter, are we getting questions? So do you think Justin Taffa will be a UFC champion? Do you think, why are we doing this for Maycee Barber? I know she
put on herself. Herself.
Is there not one fighter that doesn't, that after every fight they're going, hey, I'm going for the top. I'm going to be champion.
Yes. And yes, his name is Beneil Dariush. He's feeling very attacked right now. He's feeling very attacked right now by your comment.
If Maycee Barber wins tonight, just 10 more wins, and we'll think about it. She was super confident. She put it out there. She's like, I'm gonna be champ. It didn't happen, or I was gonna be the youngest champ ever. It didn't happen. I mean, I think she gets way too much hate for that. Sure. But I think that's what I don't know. Like if a fighter comes out and says, they sign young. They're going, are you gonna be youngest champion ever? They're gonna go, no, I'm gonna be like the 5th youngest champion ever.
I'm just hoping to make the list.
Yeah, make the list. It's an honor. Yeah,
she did it. The UFC did it too. The UFC, she was a big deal coming out of the Contender Series. Dana White was very high on her. So that's the fight game, right? With praise and with hype comes criticism sometimes, and a disproportionate amount. Sometimes the criticism at some point starts to greatly surpass.
I guess I just think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sage Northcutt got it too. Sage Northcutt got it too. Like he wasn't a bad fighter in the UFC. There's sort of
No.
this like there's sort of the suggestion now, like, oh, he's a
Sage
total
Northcutt
bust. And like,
is UFC level easily.
Yeah.
He's
He's just
UFC
a
level
UFC.
easily.
yeah,
And
he
I
wasn't.
don't recall Sage Northcutt coming out going like, I am going to be the happiest champ ever. Or the youngest and
Yeah.
happiest champ ever.
Yeah, no, never.
I don't know. But do I see? Okay, but answer your question. Do I
Yeah,
think he's going to
answer
be
the question.
champion?
Yes.
Probably not, but that doesn't matter. I think she's a very good fighter, and she will have a. I expect her to see her around for another decade at least at a high level in mixed martial arts, be it UFC, be it any other organization. But she's good. She's earned this spot. She deserves to be the co-main event on this event, and it's a very smart matchmaking with her and Hebus. Yeah, a couple of her previous wins, I thought she actually lost, but that's on her. She is not the judge. I am the judge. But that's how it goes. Yeah. They have been underwhelming, but she's also 24. What? 24, 25?
25. Just turned 25.
Yeah, 25.
Like a month ago.
Don't sweat it, guys.
Yeah, and like I said, I think she has shown actual improvement. Whether you thought she won the Andrea Lee fight or not, I was just rewatching that fight, and I liked a lot what I saw. Listen, she goes in there and you couldn't say this about her before always. I know it sounds backwards because she had finishes before and now she hasn't been finishing fights, but there were fights in between, like that fast start, the Miranda Maverick one most of all, where it's like it felt like she was just kind of, just getting comfortable with her striking, and it wasn't always pretty. It was like sometimes it would look like she was striking at air. There was that's kind of high level sparring element to her striking. Now I feel like she's found a comfortable groove where like she actually is like she's in there throwing hard. Like you watch the Andrea Lee fight, she was trying to finish that fight the whole time, and she had to because she kept getting taken down. I think she knew like it wasn't looking great for her on the scorecard, so she was just going every time it was on the feet. She was throwing with intent. She was throwing hard. You can't criticize her now for not doing that. And I thought fans liked that, but I get it. A couple of the decisions she's won during this 4-fight win streak, Miranda Maverick and Andrea Lee, probably could have gone either way. So when we say she's on a 4-fight win streak, it's not super convincing to everyone. And I get that. But I'm with you, Casey. I don't think she becomes a flyweight champion, and I don't think that necessarily matters.
What about Hebus? Real quick before we go on.
The only thing with Hebus is is she better at 115? I mean, should she not stick around? Like, is she not better at 115?
It was her last 115 fight when she got knocked out by Marina Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah.
Rodriguez.
But that's okay. Rodriguez is really good.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, she's a big puncher. You got hit. No, that's the fight game. I've never quite understood why she's at 125. Outside of she's saying, "Oh, well, I can." But
yeah,
it's weird that the UFC does that because they seem to be so weird about some fighters moving up versus other fighters, and he was like, "Yeah, whatever, do what you want." So good for her. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'll tell you in a few hours.
Because her wins at 115: Virna Jandiroba, Ronda Marcos, Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern's a top 6-7 contender right now.
Yeah, I know. Like her 15 wins are.
He just beat her. It's a while ago, but she beat her.
Beat her good too. I really like Amanda Hebus watching her fight. I think she's super exciting, and I think she's better at 115. But who knows? I think, and I'll say, if I had to pick who do I think has a better chance of becoming a future women's flyweight champion, I'd certainly go Hebus over Barber. Yes.
But I'm picking Barber to win tonight. It doesn't make sense. I had to, because I did on the preview show. Don't worry about it. It makes no sense.
All right. Here's the big question. Here we go. Ready? Here we go.
Not Jason Baseman wants to know, what is PFL doing? All right, we got to talk about it. It's the big news of this morning. Let me read out the statement really official. I don't want to misquote the PFL, but yes, for anyone who doesn't know, Nathan Schulte and Raush Manfio have been suspended. Schulte beat Manfio by unanimous decision on Friday night, and that was supposed to advance Schulte into the postseason. They're both suspended now. Shane Burgos gets the vacant spot. If you guys didn't see the fight, it was just pretty much like two best friends sparring, because guess what? They're best friends, and they were pretty much sparring. They don't want to hurt each other. Schulte is the godfather to Manfio's daughter. Manfio has spoken to our own Guilherme Cruz and said Schulte gave him money when he was like coming up in training. He helped pay his bills. He like put food on this man's table. And twice the PFL has matched them up. They were supposed to fight 2021 season. It didn't happen. Manfio was rescheduled to fight Anthony Pettis, and he beat Anthony Pettis. And Schulte, and then now they rescheduled this time, and they actually fought, and it was a terrible, terrible fight. Of course, the guys don't want to fight each other. So here's the PFL's statement. Last night, Nathan Schulte and Hashman Feo did not meet the standards which all PFL fighters agreed to uphold in competition. All fighters in the PFL fight agreements agreed to use their, quote, best efforts, skills, and abilities as a professional athlete to compete and to defeat any opponent, end quote. It was very clear that Nathan and Hausch did not meet that contractual standard in yesterday's bout. PFL immediately suspended both fighters from the season, deemed the fight to have 0 points for purposes of league standings. PFL takes this action in recognition of its responsibility to all PFL fighters and all PFL fans. Casey?
I did not see the fight, so I can't judge. I don't know. It's stupid. I just go, it's stupid. They didn't break any rules. I didn't realize that was another rule set for for the tournament. Like, try harder, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's a fake tournament. It's a fake season. They make up the rules. They make up the whatever as they go along. And it's I don't know. PFL did this to themselves, and I don't think this helps. But what was the benefit of this? Because the benefit of this, who did they replace? I guess who was supposed to be in the tournament?
Shane Burgos was, one of those big money signings, and now he's in there.
That's the real key. They seem to admit that. They go, hey, we should spend a good money on Shane Burgos. We're putting they had a great opportunity.
Yes, Shane is not explicitly mentioned in the release, other than at the bottom where it says, "Here's the new matchups for the playoffs." So, and then Shane's name is in there.
And that's the issue. I mean, come on, we know why it happened.
Ukno Zeke in the comments saying that was literally the first PFL fight I've ever watched. I was pissed, not gonna lie. Listen. Of course, the guys have taken some responsibility, but why? For people who maybe aren't familiar with the PFL or haven't been keeping up with the PFL and aren't sure where they are in the season, so this is still regular season. This is still where the league makes the matchups. It's not a tournament part yet where it's determined by how many points they score in the regular season, so they can't control the matchups. They can book who they want against who they want. So they could have done Olivier Aubin-Mercier versus Harsh Manfio, and they could have had Shane Burgos versus Nathan Schulte, or again some other mixture of the opponents they ended up with, because Anthony Namero's in there, and Nishikawa I think was Burgos' opponent. So they could have mixed it up any way they wanted. They know, again, Manfio that Schulte is the godfather of Manfio's daughter, and that they are super close best friends. I understand matchmakers, if you have companies, you're trying to tell guys they have to fight each other somewhere down the road, but why match them up during the regular season? Manfio has said if it's in the playoffs or in the finals, of course I understand we have to fight each other. There's $1 million on the line. Why in the regular season would you match them up? How I have to put the onus on the league here.
So in that fight, as far as the setup goes, was the winner of that fight by decision going to make the tournament?
Yes, the winner of that fight mathematically would knock Burgos out of the playoffs, because Burgos did not get this would have been before Burgos fought. Burgos would have needed a finish. So when Burgos did not finish his opponent, then he was officially out.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it wasn't locked in. Burgos still had a chance.
Okay, yeah. So they couldn't. That's actually an important detail.
It is.
Yeah.
The order of the fights matters, because you said, I wonder if Burgos had just won by knockout and qualified himself, would they have made a stink about this? But because Burgos was eliminated, then they said, because of
their own point system. Yeah, because I saw some people online kind of throwing out the word fight fixing, which is very very big. You don't just lightly toss that term out there. But because you just told me, I didn't know this actually, because that fight was before the Burgos fight.
Yes,
there's no way to fix it, because they didn't.
No way to guarantee it. No,
there were no guarantees. Yeah.
Well, actually, there would have been if. Let's say one of them had gotten a first round finish, like a quick tap or something. Mm-hmm. That would have been insanely suspicious, because then I think that would have mathematically eliminated Burgos no matter what. Then we would have had a serious problem. Then we would have had a serious whoa, what is going on? Holy crap, this is extremely sus. And they would have avoided a 15-minute fight, right? Yeah.
And fixing a fight by submission is pretty easy if you want. It doesn't take too much good acting to, but All right. Well, I think
Okay.
there's a lot to talk about.
This is
Other
developing.
things, but
This is developing. Yeah, this is developing. We should be talking about Pro Fights Infos, right? We should be talking about Sadabusi's amazing knockout of the year, spin kick knockout.
oh yeah,
Sadabusi taking a lot of crap for winning last year, saying like, oh, whatever, he's not a big. He's been, hey, listen, he's looked really good this year, so good for you, Sadabu. And we'll be talking about that knockout. That's in my top 5 right now. That's for damn sure. Sorry, I'm saying that question here. Scott McCrate, how about OAM? I mean, that dude is off the hook now. That is with the PFL. Yeah, listen, I've always thought, everyone has thought he's a talented guy, and I'm glad he's ranked in our rankings now, number 13 at lightweight. Well deserved, I think, after going undefeated last season, undefeated in the PFL so far. Really, he debuted the season before the season he won with just like a non-playoff fight, and then he won the playoffs last year. Now he's well on his way to a second title. I don't care that much about the debate of like, oh, would he be doing this if he was still in the UFC?
that's a stupid debate.
But I will say, I do think he's facing a slightly lower level of competition. I think that's fair to say. I think that's fair to say. With respect to Anthony Romero and the other guys that OAM has fought so far, I do think he has fought this is not as strong as the UFC lightweight division, and I don't think that's unfair or unreasonable to say.
Who? I don't bring his record up. Who did OEM lose to in the UFC?
I gotta look up Alexander Hernandez. I remember that. I think I was there. Armin and Gilbert Burns. So
look at that! Look at that!
He fought some good names.
That's what, like, you got to look at who you fight.
Yeah.
OEM,
yeah.
like, this is all that matters to me. OEM, because I know this is kind of the basic categories fans put fighters in.
Mm-hmm.
He's UFC level. OEM is absolutely UFC level. Sure. Is he top 10? I don't know. I don't think he's top 10, but he's definitely, like, he can compete right at the edge of the top 10. And I think that's where he is. And yeah, I don't know. And unfortunately, I think because his competition in PFL, that's about as high as he can get in our rankings, or I think anyone's rankings. But doesn't matter. He's making more money over there.
He's making more. Fighting. Him and Loughnane, at least last season. I know this season was a bit disappointing, but him and Loughnane are really strong examples of like, yeah, it's great to go to the PFL. Not only can you get money, but you rattle up enough wins. And listen, people will talk about you. Loughnane was ranked at the lower end of our rankings for a minute there as well. Obviously, he's going to lose it with his recent loss, but yeah,
dude, I feel we talk about OEM way more now in PFL than we did ever in UFC. So
he was. You're talking about if he was like the third prelim on UFC on ABC 5, we wouldn't be talking about OAM a lot. You know? Yeah. No, you think so?
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right,
let's go to today.
Jacksonville. Do we have Duval? Shout out to Duval. Oh, that's a great question. Jeremiah Freitag wants to know: is it a real possibility that Zalgas gets cut with a boring decision win? No, not with a win. Not with a win.
There's no seasons in the UFL. I mean, UFL, UFC.
We're talking about the PFL so much. Good for them. It's working. Whatever happened. I get it. Listen, let's look at Zalgas' UFC record. 1-5. 1-5. His last 2 losses by split. I think at least one of those you can make a very strong case he should have won. I'd have to watch them both again. I know. I don't know the Charles Johnson, and then what was the other split? It was Jeff Molina.
Yeah. Okay.
Johnson. Yeah.
Manel Cape got him. Yes, that's freaking Manel Cape.
Sure.
And then
sure.
And the two split losses, they could easily been wins. Yeah. So give the guy a break. And no, he won't be cut with a boring decision.
Well, I think Jeremiah's question here also takes into account. I believe Zalgas has said. Remember, he was talking about retiring after one of those split decision losses, and then I think he said, he kind of walked it back and said, "I think I have one fight left." By the way, if I'm BSing here, people call me out. There's something like this. He has a fight left on his UFC contract, so he figured, let me at least fight out this last fight instead of just walking away from and see how it goes. And again, he's been struggling now to get this last fight. He's had his last 3 bookings fall through. Now he gets a blue chipper in Josh Van. A boring decision win, I think he still keeps his job, but it is true. Regardless, this is the last fight of his contract, so the UFC has no obligation to.
How much are we talking about this man? They're not going to cut him. We talk
quite a bit. The haircut gimmick, brilliant,
dude. Like his new social media persona God bless him. Yeah, I thought nothing of him before except his name is very hard to pronounce. But now I'm like, I'm gonna learn to spell this. I'm gonna buy his fight kit. you know?
He stands out. Like, I don't know
He
if
rules. He rules.
he's
I don't
running
care
his
about. I
own
don't care
social
about.
media or it's his manager, whoever is responsible. They're
Doesn't
doing
matter.
a great job. And I will go, if I have to go yes or no, Jeremiah, oh, well, the question is it a real possibility? Yes, it is a possibility because, again, it is the last fight in this deal. So they could just say, well, that wasn't very appealing. And happy trails.
Right. I
Son.
guess
Happy
they
trails.
won't re-sign him. They can't.
They won't
re-cut
re-sign him. Yeah.
That's
But if my question is, do I think he gets a new contract with a win? I'll say yes, because frankly, I don't think he's gonna get that much of a raise.
Can
So
you
I
have
think
a
win will
boring?
bring.
Can you have a boring decision win against the competition he's fighting in a few hours? I don't think you can. In the sense that who you are beating is so. It doesn't matter. The fact that you beat that. I can't.
See, but we know that Josh. But we know that. But Josh
and the UFC knows that.
And the UFC knows
the UFC
that.
matchmakers know that.
But
that's why they signed the man. That's why they put him against an experienced veteran like Zagas.
Yes. But Josh Van is not. Remember, he was about to be on the Contender Series, so it's not like they have him pegged as.
So
this,
is
like,
Bo Nickel. So is Bo Nickel.
This is true, but
they put
but
people on the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Well, they've already signed him.
But Bo's was very calculated, like their plan for Bo. They had a calculated plan. It was like they essentially had him booked for 2 Contender Series appearances, no matter what happened. Right? It was like he could have. Well, I was gonna say he did totally smoke his opponent in the first Contender Series fight, and they knew they were gonna sign. That was all calculated on their end, on Bo's end.
Yeah.
People know. I think Josh Van is a little more uncertainty. Obviously, he's not as well known a name as Bo Nickel, certainly.
All right. They're not gonna cut it. They're not gonna cut him on a loss.
Oh, you think?
I mean,
you think
on a win?
On a win. You think no matter what? Okay, I agree, but I think it's a fair question.
All right. Man, I actually got a lot of questions. Okay,
good. Yes, I know. We got
I'm gonna fly through these.
Please, let's do it. Okay. Oh, Pro Fights Info. Thoughts on Rose Namajunas moving up to 125? Good for her. Good for her. I don't think she's not because I think she can't compete at 115. I'm sure she can, but she's later in her career. She's like, you know what? Cutting weight sucks. Cutting weight sucks. And I fought everyone at 115. Again, is there more to prove? Sure. Could she fight Carla in a trilogy bout and erase the taste of that last fight of their mouths? Sure. Could she fight Jessica Andrade again someday? Should she have stayed to fight Zhang Wei Li? She has 2 wins over her. Yes, she could have done all these things. But I think in her mind, it's like maybe she just wants fresh challenges. And again, not having to cut that extra 10 pounds because it sucks. Yeah. So that's my thoughts. Good for her.
And my thinking is too also is that maybe that really crappy performance that she had against Carla Esparza, maybe she puts a lot of blame of that into her bad her weight cut, and she just couldn't perform and did not have the energy that night. And that's a strong possibility. And she is 30. She doesn't cut. She's not like the biggest strawweight, but this gives her an opportunity to change her actual physique a bit and maybe add some more muscle, be kind of reinvent herself, as you might say. So good on her. Actually, really like Minot versus Rose. That's a fight like nobody kind of had on their bingo board.
No, I've never seen. I don't think I have to go back. I don't think anyone picked.
No one saw that. So good job. On to the next guys.
If they got it, I don't think. Hey, come on, they're doing their best, Casey, with the information they have. Don't you criticize on to the next one, listeners? They're geniuses. But yeah,
no, it's a cool fight, and actually, I think it's a great fight for both fighters, and I like it.
Yeah, it's good for the fans too, because I'm sure fans, as much as they want to see some of those rematches, are also more than happy to see Rose get some fresh matchups. So, and listen, it doesn't mean she can never drop back down to 115. Doesn't mean that. She's been off for a long time, right? She's been off for a while. This could be and she's talked about moving up, I know, but this could just be test it out. She's been off for a while.
But this isn't a test. This isn't a test out. You're testing it out against basically the number 1 contender. This isn't a test out. This is like you're in the deep end, pretty much.
Listen, I don't know. She might. She's. Listen,
I
can't. Listen, I can't.
Fighting Rose Namajunas is not a test out fight.
Rose Namajunas is an incredibly unpredictable fighter.
That's what I mean. She's going all in. She's going all in right now at flyweight. So that's cool. You know what? And if she wins, or even
or
if
she loses,
win it,
that's what I'm saying. If she loses, she might go back down. She might. So I don't know if she's all in. Right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
We don't know.
What does this do for Faro? Minot Faro? Like if she wins, are we gonna go? Well, she beat a strawweight, or does it really matter?
Oh, it's great. No, it totally matters. It's a great name to have on your resume. It's a great name because the best name on her resume is what? Chukagian, right?
And it was I think think the UFC is looking for a big kind of performance for her against a top fighter, because
Yeah.
the Chikagan fight was kind of forgettable, right?
Yeah.
Like every
It
Chikagan
was
fight.
okay. Yeah, it was not a fight of the year candidate or anything. Yeah.
Well,
I will say
it
if
wasn't
she
the
if
greatest fight
she
ever, but
if
was
she
it?
beats if she beats Rose, her last 4 wins would be Rose Namajunas, Caitlin Chukagian, Jennifer Maia, and future UFC bantamweight champion Mayra Bueno Silva. So that's a pretty good. That's not a bad resume. I'm just saying, if she pulls it off, she beats Rose. That's
All
not a
right,
bad resume.
let's go to the other.
She'd move up our P for P ranking. That's for damn sure.
Let's stay in the flyweight division.
Please. Diogenes wants to know, I know I mispronounced that. If Blanchfield beats Santos, does she get a title shot next? I think she'll have earned it if she wins that fight. Yeah, of course. This is a pretty clear answer. Very high risk fight for Tyler Santos. Some people want to see Blanchfield get the title shot already.
Yeah.
So yeah, that locks her in. Whether it's Alexa Grasso, whether it's Valentina Shevchenko, that rematch has now been booked. So yes, listen, the sky has been the limit for Blanchfield forever. She has looked like the real deal. It's very scary, and again, is not even in her athletic prime yet. This is not the best version of Erin Blanchfield we've seen. I think if she beats Santos and does so convincingly, you have to earmark that title shot for her.
Blanchfield could get the title shot right now. I hate immediate rematches, and so I get why they're doing Grasso Shevchenko too. I just don't like it. I'd rather have Shevchenko fight one fight and get the title shot. But Blanchfield can get the title shot right now. This fight is actually, I think, to me, a super dangerous fight for Blanchfield. And since that, I think the title shot is already hers, but I think she wants to stay active, and the UFC wants her to fight again. So but I think Blanchfield should win, but it's gonna be a fun fight.
I will say I don't hate immediate rematches. I hate how the UFC has made them meaningless with some of the ones because I think some people do deserve them. The problem is they just give them out haphazardly. I mean, well, the Cody Garbrandt TJ immediate rematch was one of the most mystifying immediate rematches I've ever seen, and it's stuff like that makes us not look forward to these. Real quick, Casey. Saul Alfaro wants to know, Casey, my wife won't come to Cannibal Corpse show with me on my birthday weekend. Should I divorce?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I mean, we can't say that. You can't say that. Legal. I got to contact legal. I guess you can't.
It was in your vows.
You know what? Listen, PFL. PFL has very strict language in their contracts, apparently. So, Saul, if you have had it in your vows that Cannibal Corpse shows were mandatory.
Yeah, you know they do. It was you'll stay together through health and sickness, and if Cannibal Corpse comes to town, and it's right there. Divorce, Sal. Divorce. Wow. Sorry, let her go.
Legal. Contact me directly. We'll if anything bad happens, I'll deal with that. All right, let's more. We got time. Stream hasn't started yet. The Jacksonville stream hasn't started. Just keep them coming, guys.
I want to talk. Let's talk about me now.
Okay, Bobby Atkins says, "Congrats to Casey's teammates." All right, Casey, give us the breakdown. You had four guys scheduled, 3 that actually matched to end up fighting.
4 guys were scheduled.
How did it go?
One fight got dropped out due to medical reasons. Yeah, that was a bummer. He cut weight, all that stuff. So, California Regulatory Commission. But the 3 fighters that did fight looked awesome. Luis made his mixed martial arts debut, fought an 8-3 professional, and knocked him out in the first round. It was unreal. It was awesome. He is such a dangerous man. And then Hoffa in the co-main event had a great battle, won a 3-round decision. And then big-ass Cody Davis, TKO, 5th round, dominated the fight. Took some damage in the 2nd round. He got rocked. But then controlled him on the ground and wrestled the guy and beat him up on the ground. And Herb Dean, he let that. Herb Dean was the ref in the main event. He let Cody's opponent just take a vicious beating. We're like, ooh, stop the fight. But he was tough. And but my teammate Cody Davis is now the new LFA flyweight champion. And as Alan Jobain said, 11 of the last 12 UFC LFA champions have been signed immediately by the UFC. So
I was gonna say, Casey, it's pretty much all but guaranteed. I mean, that
very
is
much,
it's more guaranteed than fighting Contender Series. Pretty much, you fight on LFA,
very
you win a
much, yeah,
title, you're locked in.
yeah, yeah,
8-1, 8-1 as a pro, Cody. So, Team EKC, unsurprisingly,
yeah,
undefeated on the night.
yeah.
So, congrats to Luis Franciscanelli,
Yeah,
Rafael do Nascimento, and Cody Davis beating
Cody Davis.
Rafa does Nascimento beating Jordan I'm gonna Winsky, who did not
Yeah,
live up to his
Jordan,
nickname on
yeah.
that day.
And also, in other news, I ran into an old friend last night. I haven't seen in a long time, Mr. Jason Mayhem Miller. And
Oh my goodness.
I saw him. We had a long
How is
conversation. He is, and he's in a good place. He's in a good place. I'm gonna let him speak for himself eventually, but he is spent 2 years locked up, but he is back in the game in a sense. He was cornering one of the prelim fighters. But he is in very good spirits, looks great, in good shape. And I talked to him, and it was a good conversation. We had a nice, good conversation. And yeah, and hopefully we'll be hearing more from him soon in only positive ways.
That's good to hear because listen, I know we've listened.
And I'm being very sincere about all this.
Of course,
I'm being very sincere.
And listen. We all know Mayhem has done some bad stuff.
Yes.
So I'm not excusing any of that.
He has done some bad stuff.
This guy,
but he paid, but he paid for it. He did his time.
and this guy was once one of the most beloved figures in MMA. I think people again, this is we're gonna go post Connor, pre Connor thing here. There's a whole group of post Connor fans who don't know what Mayhem Miller meant to the MMA community. He people don't remember Bully Beatdown. He actually crossed over into the mainstream in his own way. He was such a unique guy. He coached the Ultimate Fighter with Michael Bisping, one of the best seasons. So again, just for everyone out there, I'm not I know you guys can Google yourself, whatever, Mayhem Miller arrest and see some of the really dumb stuff he's done. Okay, I'm not excusing that, but you hope a guy like this can turn it around because he really meant a lot to the MMA community once upon a time. And like you said, Casey, hopefully he's paid his dues, learned his lessons, and we can have him back in because he's been persona non grata for the last couple of years. Well, as you said, he's been in jail. So again, hopefully we start writing positive headlines about Mayhem again. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I like to believe in second chances, third chances, fourth chances, however many it takes. Casey, I know we're about 5 minutes till the card starts, so we got time still. They showed the timer, but I know it's not starting for at least another 5 minutes. So keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. Ooh, Smile 7. What is your lock for tonight? That's a great question. Okay.
I like those questions.
I'm just saying I hate gambling. I'm saying I don't like to suggest gambling.
You don't throw money on that, but
no, I know. But I do want. But I want to give two things. I want to lock a winner and lock an outcome prediction.
I'm going to lock. I'm gonna go Randy Brown.
Oh,
I'm taking Randy Brown over.
That's a strong lock. Yep, that's
over
a strong
the delicious Wellington Truman.
Wait, what? Why? What?
His name sounds like a good meal.
It does. Sir, I'll have the Wellington Turman, please, and for you, madam.
Yeah, a salad.
Well, yes. Stupid. Randy Brown. minus 230 favorite. 93% picking Randy Brown.
He is the biggest favorite in Topology.
There is your lock right there, my friend. According to Topology, 93%, 42% picking knockout. So strong belief. I know I did. I think I picked first or second round. I'll check my Topology picks. What is I like the matchmaking of this card. So I as I was doing my predictions on MMAfighting.com.
Great website.
Great website. I was pretty not 50-50, but you know what? I'll do this for Brendan Allen. So Brendan Allen did a nice little video last time calling out some of the media who picked him to just get washed for Andre Muniz, and my face was in there for literally half a second. So well done, Brendan Allen. Congratulations. So I'm doing this for you again.
I like when they do that.
My lock is Bruno Silva. He's actually the underdog.
Wait. So let's get a full screen. So.
Uh-huh. Oh, right, so he can use it. Yeah.
So Mr. Allen, okay, press record now and go.
Let me tell you something. That Brendan Allen's got no chance against Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva's going to knock him out round one. He can't last 2 seconds on the feet with Blendado. Brendan Allen, you're going down.
I disagree. Brendan Allen, you will win. You will dominate and you will win. You will be the next UFC middleweight champion.
You can't do that. People don't use positive media clips in their video. You can't do that. People don't use they believed in me. They don't make they believed in me montages.
Hey, media members, thanks for being right. You guys called this fight correct.
And the other lock I'll have, and this is a sketchy one because I'll go Justin Tafa, Austin Lane under 1.5 rounds. But Tafa has had a couple of weird fights where you would think that it would have been ended with someone getting knocked out, but like it went to a decision. But still, I'm pretty confident. Austin Lane has never gone to a decision. Tafa, again, pretty well known for first round knockouts. So that's going under. I'm not saying who wins. I mean, I'm going with Tafa, but I will say I think someone knocks the other guy out before the midpoint of the second round. So that would be my other lock. Tafa Lane under. And for Brendan Allen, again, I'm picking Bruno Silva so he can shut me up again.
All right.
Still got time. We still got time. Axel Adams. Oh, God. Thoughts on Dana White promoting all these gimmick fights like John Jones versus Fury and now Elon versus Zuckerberg? Is this a symptom of UFC merging with WWE? No. It had nothing to do with WWE. They've been doing this dumb crap forever. Dana White saying they don't book gimmick fights is absolute horse crap. I mean, he did Randy Couture, James Toney. He signed CM Punk.
He had multiple fights. CM Punk who had no amateur fights. It was yeah. No, to answer your question, it is not a symptom of merging WWE. What it is a symptom of is they got to make money. They want to make money. They want to make all the money. They want to make more money than they made last year. So that's how you do it. You make gimmick fights. But you also don't say you make gimmick fights for some reason because that's a bad word, but they're making gimmick fights. They're promoting
other people do it. Other people do it. It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Casey. Other people do it. It's a gimmick. And they do it in the UFC. I mean, listen, we're just giving the people what they want. We're just making it as real as it gets. And look, if you're Dana White also and the UFC, you have to get on top of these things because you don't want everyone else talking about Jones Fury. One thing, Jones is your fighter. You don't want everyone else talking about and getting publicity off it. Getting look at PFL. Look how much publicity they just got off Jones. You think Dana White's happy about that? Furious and annoyed, and nothing to do about it. I mean, Jones is allowed to corner this guy.
Annoyed. I don't know if he's furious.
Well, he doesn't really get furious.
Dana White's furious all the time. I take it back. You're right.
I was gonna say I don't know if he is as furious as he used to be. You're right. He is more like irked these days.
Irked. Okay.
More irked. Right? He has no. You have to be passionate about something to be furious. I don't think he's passionate about anything anymore. So he has to get on top of the Jones thing. That's his fighter. And same with Elon Zuckerberg. Everyone's talking about it. And on the outside chance that it happens, he would be like, what a missed opportunity that would be for him in the UFC to not be the ones to host that fight. And by the way, if you were, I'm surprised, Axel, you didn't just ask, like, what are the chances of that fight happening? Casey, gun to my head, if I had to say, do I think that fight's going to happen or not? I'm now leaning towards it will happen in some form. Maybe not an actual MMA fight, some dumb celebrity thing, maybe celebrity boxing, maybe just some two guys doing a grab ass exhibition. I don't know. But I think it's closer to I always tell people after Mayweather McGregor, I have never said such and such fight will never happen again because I was so wrong on that. I said that broke the combat sports forbidden door, you might say, Casey. I see people talk about forbidden door in the comments. That opened the forbidden door forever, and once the forbidden door is opened, you cannot close it again. So Elon Zuckerberg will work out and do some weird. Maybe we'll do a metaverse fight.
I do not think the forbidden door has been opened in MMA. You think Mayweather Conor was opening the forbidden door in MMA?
Sure.
No.
You want cross promotion. You want cross promotion. You want to see Bellator versus UFC, UFC versus PFL,
and Mayweather wasn't. It was a boxing match. It wasn't mixed martial arts. So it's not a forbidden door. It was just a money grab. This no. Like if they book Jones Ngannou, that is truly opening the forbidden door. Jones Fury, I'm assuming that would be in boxing, unless Fury actually does a UFC fight. Oh God, I don't know. When I start saying these things, I start getting like a little So feeling.
Listen. Here's the question: what would you bet on being more likely to happen? Jones versus Fury meeting in MMA or boxing or whatever, or Elon fighting Mark Zuckerberg
in the UFC.
Anywhere in anything in the metaverse. They're two
Yeah.
dorky avatars. I don't know, hitting each other. Anything, any sort. Yeah, that's probably where this is going. Some metaverse thing. Yeah.
Actually, I think Elon Zuck would happen.
I think so too. Right. I think it's more because it's just they're businessmen. There's ways that they can make money off it. They'll find a way. Jones and Fury are businessmen too. They just have much less control over their careers, if we're being honest. So, that's just not going to happen.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into the fact that there are billionaires.
We have walkouts coming. Let's do one more question, Casey. We're still waiting for Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage does not come out yet. So.
Okay.
He wants a good.
You want a question about today's card or just in general?
Preferably about today's card, frankly.
Right,
we haven't talked about Jacksonville enough. Oh, Jeremiah again. Jeremiah wants to know if Bruno finishes Allen, does he finally get his due respect? Is Bruno Silva disrespected? This question I'm not sure I understand.
I don't. I mean, unless you have issues with him, Jeremiah, I don't.
I think he's at the right level of respect.
I think people were super excited, and he's coming off a loss, right?
2 losses. No, sorry, no. He beat Brad Tavares. People didn't like the stoppage, but he beat Brad Tavares.
Oh yeah,
But he lost 2. But he lost 2 fights before that. He's not like undefeated in the UFC.
He lost it. Yeah, he went to decision of Pereira, and
submitted by
the whole time, and then then
submitted by Jim.
got him.
Yeah. I think he's as respected as I think people see him as a top 25, top 30 middleweight. Definitely has a chance to break the top 15. Again, when you're losing to GMP.
I don't get this at all. Bringing back to he got Brad Tavares. He beat that gatekeeper fight, weird stoppage, but he beat him. And then Brendan Allen is a step up in competition, ranking wise. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I think if let's tweak the question here for Jeremiah. Does he get more respect? Does he get talked about as a contender? I don't think this is the one that does it. He'll probably get a ranking because I know UFC has Brendan Allen ranked. I think we have Allen at 12 or something after he beat Muniz. So he'll probably get a number next to his name in the UFC and in the more important MMA Fighting global rankings. But I don't think any big win is going to get him super like top 10 talk or like, oh, he's 1 fight away. Like he has a bit of work to do. I know it sucks because he's had a lot of experience outside the UFC. He should be much closer to a title fight than like we're giving him credit for. But again, the UFC still views him. Listen, this is like the UFC viewing anyone who's not in the, the Ultimate Fighter who hasn't fought in the UFC as a prospect. It's the same thing. They don't look at Bruno Silva's 20-something fights before the UFC. They're looking at the 6 fights he's had in the UFC, and right now they're like, oh, he's 4-2. So that's what they say.
Yeah,
they don't see a guy
he still hasn't beaten anyone in the top 15 or top 10.
So he won't get hit. So you know what, Jeremiah? I'll say this: he won't get his due respect from the matchmakers still, even with a win on Saturday. You're right. He should get more respect from the matchmakers, but. They don't quite see him like that yet. But I love Blindado, super exciting fighter, and I think with the right opponents, he absolutely can fight for the title someday. Big fan. All right, the guys are in the cage. We'll answer this quick. If Topuria gets a quick finish, will he get the next title shot against Volk, or will we have to fight Holloway or Allen next? I have said he should become the number 1 contender and should get the next title shot. But if Volk somehow gets that Makhachev rematch sooner rather than later, yes, he will have to fight Holloway or Allen or someone else next. Casey?
Yeah, probably that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets a title shot if he'll win tonight. No matter how dominant it is, I think there's too much money to be made at the top with rematches and double champ stuff and yada yada yada. So
if Yair beats Volk, they probably give Volk an immediate rematch, and so there you go. There's just a lot in the way. That stuff. Yeah, it's a lot in the way.
I guess the question is if Ilia wins, will his next fight be for the belt?
Oh, we've said interim possibility, right? Interim possibility if Volk goes back up.
Or will you wait, until the rematch happens?
He won't wait. He would happily fight for an interim title. Every fighter would.
No, say there's no interim. Like he has to sit out a year.
He might have to fight again. No, he'll fight again. He won't wait a year.
I guess I think that's more.
The division moves too quickly. There's too many names that could jump over him, and he just doesn't have that luxury or that kind of. Sadly, he doesn't have that kind of star power, right?
All right, let's do our picks.
Oh, okay.
Don't you know how this works, man?
All right. I don't know. Listen, I haven't hosted one of these in a while. Emmett Topuria. I'm going Topuria by knockout. Casey.
Wait, you start at the main card, at the bottom of the main card. Then
Oh
move up
my
to the main
gosh.
event.
There's people about to fight. Okay.
Well, they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait,
Brendan
Mr.
Allen
Brundage.
and Bruno Silva. Brendan Allen, Bruno Silva. I'm going Bruno Silva by knockout. Casey.
Oh, Brendan Allen, you will win. You
Say it
will
again.
win, Brendan Allen.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I keep screwing up the audio. David Onama versus Gabriel Santos. It's going to be a great fight.
Oh, this fight's going to be awesome. Anama's so excited. Anama in a fight of the night decision victory.
I agree. Onama by decision. That's a great matchmaking there. Tafa Austin Lane.
Heavyweights being heavyweights. KO early second round.
I'm going Tafa first round knockout. I think that's my prediction. Co-main event, a legitimate co-main event between ranked flyweights Amanda Ribas and Maycee Barber. Give me. I'm going Barber by knockout.
Amanda Ribas by an exciting decision, a competitive fight, but she'll win the decision.
And then the main event: Josh Emmett, Ilia Topuria. Casey, who do you got?
Topuria, knockout, round 4.
Whoa, yes, I'm going Topuria also with a knockout after the second. I'm going round 3. So I'm going round 3, Casey round 4, both going Topuria by KO. Thank you everyone for joining us in the Q&A. I know there's fights happening right now. They're already grappling. It's already gone to the ground.
They're mixing it. They're mixing them.
They're already mixing the martial arts, as the people like to see, guys. 13 fight card, now. So we got a long road ahead of us. I will be on the post-fight show. Casey, I believe you will as well. And I think Shaheen El-Shadi will also be joining us. So please, guys, make sure to tune in for that. But we will see you in a few hours. And stay tuned to MMAfighting.com for all your coverage if you're not able to watch.
Great website.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Wait, okay, wait. Wave. Keep waving. Let's keep it awkward. Keep waving.